first question is, what do you think about the fifth Media Literacy Forum?
About the what? The Media Literacy Conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great event. I think it's very important, particularly at this time in our history. Social media, digital media is very important. It's very influential in changing people's behaviours, perceptions and attitudes, as well as educating them on what's going on in the world. And so it's very important, I think, for everyone to have this opportunity to understand how digital literacy is important for the future of humanity.
But especially for young people, because they're more open to education.
Oh, that's right. I think it's very difficult for young people today because they have a lot of challenges. I mean, they have technology which is very innovative, and if you compare it to the technology that was available when I was their age, it's so much more powerful, because unlike when I was a young boy, you could not talk to a global audience. But the young people today, with Facebook, with Instagram, with YouTube, they can create media that can be seen by the whole world. So it's important that they understand the implications of that and how to use it in the best possible way.
Right. Moving on to the second question. How important is media literacy? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, for the second question. Let me go to the third question. What is digital medicine? Can you describe it for us?
Yes, digital medicine, it's an interesting term, because when you think of medicine in the dictionary, medicine is about curing people when they are ill. But digital medicine is much more than that. It's about using technology to prevent people from getting ill in the first place. So my background is that I was invited to the inaugural conference of the International Society for Digital Medicine in China in 2016, and only in the 6 years since I've been involved with them, I became a vice president. But in those 6 years, technology has changed enormously, and today we don't just use digital technologies for preventing healthcare, which is how I started. We use digital technologies for therapeutics, for helping people with mental problems. And this is where it kind of overlaps with my experience in technology, particularly in the area of virtual reality. I've been involved in virtual reality and virtual worlds for about 15 years. But today, with the virtual reality headsets and the kind of cameras that I'm recording with at the moment, you can see things in 360 degrees. And so one of the biggest areas is how you use virtual reality to help people with mental problems. And that can be things like stress management, it can be phobias, but it's amazing just how the technology has evolved to help people with both physical and mental health.
It's a much more immersive technology, so it helps people, right?
Yes, absolutely, immersive technologies, because you put a virtual reality headset on and it shuts the world out. Now, although it's growing very quickly, it's not as new as people imagine, because when I started at the Serious Games Institute 15 years ago, there was a project in existence called Snow World. This was developed by a university in America, and it was designed to help soldiers who had very bad burns on their body. So they had burns on their body, and when someone is like that, if you have to change the dressing, it's very, very painful. And so this project called Snow World, the patients lying in the bed, they had a virtual reality headset, they had music from Simon and Garfunkel, played very loud, and they were in a snow world, and they played a game where they had to knock penguins over and snowmen over with the virtual reality headset in a game. And this was a properly researched experiment where they were able to measure the brain activity of the patient when they had the virtual reality headset on. And with the virtual reality headset, playing the game, their pain sensations were much lower because they were concentrating on the game. And so this idea of using virtual reality to block everything out is very good for things like pain management and all kind of conditions like that. It's also used for people who have phobias. So imagine that you are very frightened of heights. You don't like to be on tall buildings. So people design games where you go on a very high, tall building, and you might have to walk out on a plank. And so the game helps you to adjust to this. So when you start, you look down, and it's so real. You look down and you think, I can't do it. But gradually, with the way the game works, you are persuaded just to walk out, and you overcome your fear. And that's kind of gradual introduction of the thing that scares you. It's the same with people who are afraid of spiders, arachnophobia. With arachnophobia, you have a game where you've got the virtual reality headset and the spider will appear. And today, with biofeedback, they can measure your stress response with your skin temperature and your heartbeat. And so they use the biofeedback to take the spider away, and then they gradually introduce it again. And over a period of time, you lose your fear.
That's great.
Yeah.
Our last question is, what are the latest studies in the field of digital medicine?
Well, you mean medicine or generally?
Digital medicine.
Oh, in digital medicine. I think that the two main areas, apart from the digital therapeutics that I just mentioned to you, the main areas are in biofeedback, which is where you use devices to measure your heartbeat and a whole range of other conditions. And you use that. Yes, so it monitors. You don't have to be in hospital. So the technology available today, if you take an example, this watch on my wrist, this is one of the latest generation from China. It measures my blood pressure, it measures my heartbeat, it measures my oxygen saturation, it measures my stress level. And although it's not classified as a medical device, the results that it comes back are good enough to give you a good indication of what your health is like. So biofeedback is one area, and the other area, big area, is artificial intelligence. Is because everyone has a different DNA, everyone has a different genetic makeup, people respond to medical conditions in different ways. So precision medicine is about how you use these kind of technologies together with artificial intelligence, so you tailor the medicine to the person, and it's much more effective. And only yesterday I was reading on BBC website about something called T-cell therapy for cancer patients. And this is a therapy where you take a genetically engineered protein that is put into the body of the person, and that is able, in an intelligent way, to seek out the cancer cells and help your immune system. So there are some amazing developments in digital medicine, and artificial intelligence and biofeedback are, I think, two of the most important areas.
Also, I'd like to ask, because you talked about your watch, can we say that digital medicine has improved so much that just anyone can access it to a certain degree, right?
Well, this is one of the things that I'm hoping to do a clinical trial in the UK, using these types of devices, because this device costs under $50. So it's not like an Apple Watch, $300, but it does something very similar to the Apple Watch. So when you have something which is this cheap, if you are an employer of people, you have a business, it's economic to give everyone, all of your staff, one of these watches, because if it saves them a day off work, if it helps them to look after their health better, you are going to make money out of that because you won't have hospital help, etc. So,
Yeah, also it's going to make your work more efficient.
yeah, exactly, and that's a clinical trial that I'm hoping to organise in the UK, where the idea is that you give say 100 patients one of these devices, and you teach them about lifestyle medicine. You teach them about exercise, diet, sleep, hydration, the things that you can do without taking drugs. These will improve your health. So give them one of these devices and they can track how they're doing with this type of device.
That's all for now. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure to visit your university, and I've really enjoyed your congress. Congratulations.
Thank you.